Yep, that's right. James Gunn now claims that cameo porn is one of the worst elements out of recent superhero films. This is the same guy that praised The Flash as probably, quote, one of the greatest superhero movies ever made, unquote. Right? Like that guy said that, and now he says this. You remember all the cameos in Flash? Left, right, upside down. Like the whole ending sequence was just cameos. Horrible. And then we got this monstrosity. Another day, another flip flop from James Gunn. This time, as the DC Studios co head now claims to view the concept of cameo porn as detrimental to the modern day superhero film, despite previously praising The Flash, replete with its abundance of previous DC cinematic characters and disrespectful actor revivals via CGI. Very bad CGI, by the way. Terrible. Very sad as one of the genre's greatest achievements. That's right. He praised The Flash as one of the genre's greatest achievements. This. It's greatest achievement of superhero cinema. Yeah, no, I'm over it. I'm over it. Gunn offered his latest take on the topic amidst a discussion on the Threads social media site regarding the bevy of other DC superheroes confirmed to appear alongside Big Blue, Superman, if you're not familiar, in the comic book filmmaker's upcoming Superman Legacy, who at current includes the engineer Maria Gabriela de Faria, I believe, Faria? Guy Gardner, Nathan Fillion, Hawk Girl. You know, if you say that too fast, it sounds like Hot Girl. And it's like, yes, that's true, but that's not her superhero name. And Hawk Girl will be played by Isabella Merced. Mr. Terrific will be played by Eddie Gathigi. I'm not doing that on purpose. And Metamorpho will be played by Anthony Carrigan. That's right. So, this just sounds great, right? And so we have here like a list of these, and James Gunn confirms all these people being involved with it. And now, following a confirmation from Gunn, the above roles, as we mentioned before, as well as David Cornuswet as Superman, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, and Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, and Skylar Gisondo as Jimmy Olsen were the only ones to be confirmed thus far for the upcoming Superman film. The director turned studio runner, that's right, James Gunn. The director turned studio runner was met with a request from Threads user, Gage Music X, who asked, quote, "No more, please. We want a Superman movie," unquote. All the castings, right? All these cameos that are coming through. And Gunn pushed back again. He says, "What single protagonist movie doesn't have more than 10 speaking roles?" before confirming to this user that there will be more. That's right. There's not enough superheroes in Superman's movie. Are you clearly getting it now? Are you getting it now that this isn't a Superman movie? Superman's on it, but it's James Gunn's like fan fiction about how to introduce all of these people because of Superman without talking about Superman. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Yeah, see, as you can see the Twitter the thread screenshot here. I believe that's what that is. Attempting to bring clarity to the conversation, at James D. Ward Frost then informed Gunn, quote, "I think what you're saying is, please no more superhero cameos setting up the new DC universe in what you've repeatedly said is a standalone superhero movie," unquote. To this, the Superman Legacy director, James Gunn, confirmed, quote, "None of these roles are cameo." All right. So now there's 10 of them, okay? That's 10 that whole list amounts to about 10 characters in this. And I get Lois and Jimmy are supposed to be here. Lex Luthor's sort of optional. He's not necessary. He's just one of those things that's around like grass, right? It's everywhere. But I don't really think you need the JSA or whatever he's amounting to the Authority, because he already said he wanted to put the Authority in this as well. So it's just what kind of Superman story are you telling? There's not going to be enough room for Superman because you have to explain to the audience who all these other people are. Again, you have to remember. I mean, I know James Gunn knows this. I know he's trying to fluff up the DC assets at WB in order to get them sold off to Comcast. But it's as like a if you're a story writer out there, remember that it's more important to tell a story that focuses on one thing as a story that just tells everything at once. It's very confusing to tell what's going on in a car accident, right? It's very easy to tell what's happening in a parade. Remember that. Not just cameos, top become itself. So soon after its conclusion, the exchange would receive coverage from comicbookmovie.com in the form of an article headlined Superman Legacy director James Gunn defends reboots large cast and says superheroes aren't just cameos, which itself eventually drew further response from the topic from Gunn himself. Here we go. Responding to the James Gunn News Threads account their sharing of the article, James Gunn says, quote, "The whole point is it's not a large film. I mean, it's not in terms of the cast." So he's basically trying to tell us that it's not some blockbuster Avengers, the end of the universe situation. This is a much more measured thing that he's apparently talking about. So, quote, "It's a normal for a single protagonist films to have other characters." He added, "Much more unusual for them not to." Well, again, what we're talking about, though, is James Gunn's trying to justify that the only way that Superman can have more characters around him is if they're superheroes. And we know this is not true. Superman has a massive, massive list of friends who are not superpowered at all. You have Dan Durbin in the Metropolis PD. Unlike Batman, they don't have like a love-hate relationship. They love Superman. The whole mayor's office of Metropolis loves Superman. You have all the stuff going on in the Daily Bugle for Daily Bugle, excuse me, the Daily Planet. Whoa, the Daily Planet for Clark to get up to. At no point do you need to have the entire JSA crammed in here and then cram the Authority in on top of it in order to make Superman have more people to talk to. In fact, it would probably set this Superman legacy story apart if you kept it intimate to a 6-person cast. Sorry, James Gunn. I know you're trying to like show off to Comcast. I know they hired you to make the DC assets at Warner Brothers look good to be sold off, right? But you know, it's like polishing stuff on the shelf and doing a movie, and you really seem to be polishing stuff on a shelf, man. I don't know. I don't know. Responding to Gunn's confirmation that Superman Legacy's superpowered cast would serve as more than simple audience bait, at Drizzleboy declared, quote, "Finally, someone who treats characters more than just having asterisks, having a character appear on screen for 10 seconds to mark a checkbox, asterisk." Again, like they did that with Superman at the end of uh, Black Adam. And they stuck Wonder Woman in the middle of Shazam. Just for a few minutes to come by and, like, I don't know, flick Billy's nose. I don't know really what the point of that was. But, and then again, like, they have these repetitive things at the end of Flash where it was just like, look at all this archival footage that we're just going to toss in here now. It's ridiculous. Even Nicolas Cage complained about having gone in and filmed something entirely separate from killing a giant spider. That was not at all what they told him he was doing. Not at all. It's crazy. He says, "I call that cameo porn, and it has been one of the worst elements in recent superhero films," Gunn opined in a reply to Drizzleboy. "If a character is in film, they have to have a reason to be there story-wise." Yeah. And again, like these loose justifications, like Wonder Woman's related to the Greek gods and they're miffed about shazamming around, right? Sure, that's a very thin connection to try and drag her in for a few seconds of trailer bait, really. It's trailer bait. You know, and then again, like with saying Superman's going to show up in Black Adam. Sure, in the after credits scene, in smoke, and then they're going to fire Henry Cavill on the way out, right? Rip the cape off his back and kick him to the curb. You know, that's Cavill. I don't know how you say it. I say it differently. But you can check out the rest of this article down below. I've put the link right here. Spencer Bakuli goes on to chronicle this exchange. And here we have it. James Gunn doesn't believe in cameos despite praising The Flash as one of the greatest movies ever made.